How'd you like that finale, Jackal fans? And what do you think we'll see in season 2? Hit the comments to share your thoughts. After successfully killing UDC, Charles, also known as the Jackal, speeds off in a car with a helicopter pursuing him in the climax. Oh, and Nuria texts him to let him know that her brother Alvaro is being held by the police. In a small Croatian town, he is pulled over at a police checkpoint and accelerates, sending the police on a fast-paced pursuit through winding lanes and streets. After evading a spike strip and making a quick bend that forces a motorcycle cop to skid out, he skillfully maneuvers the vehicle to safety and eventually escapes. As we recover from all of that, Winthorpe raises a glass to River's good fortune, but ominously adds that there are a few loose ends to be considered. UDC's partner then announces that River's release would be delayed forever in the wake of his death. Bianca lashes out at her employer, Isabel, about how the Jackal must be responsible for Jimmy Tejero's death, but Isabel silences her, telling her that the investigation is closed and directing her to take some time off. "I quit," says Bianca, saving her the bother. However, Isabel then has a meeting with Foreign Secretary Jeremy. Then, it is revealed that she is the mole. She informs him that although Bianca is resigning, she is still pursuing the Jackal. However, Jeremy wants Bianca to remain on their team. Let her deal with him, and then let us deal with her. Charles is driving fast as he witnesses a youngster chasing a soccer ball into the street, while Nuria picks Alvaro up from the police station, yelling that he is a parasite, just like Dad. His automobile tumbles down an embankment and lands upside down when he swerves to miss the youngster. A motorist pulls over to assist in removing him from the debris, and Charles pulls a gun on him as he tries to call the cops. Though it seems like he is running out of time, he steals the man's phone and van. "Can you come home, please?" Bianca interrupts her husband Paul's presentation back in London. She informs him that she has resigned and wishes to make up for the time she had lost with him and her daughter Jasmine. "I pick my family." When a wounded Charles stumbles onto an elderly couple camping, Liz and Trevor, he tells them a narrative and asks if they can take him to the hospital. They agree to assist Trevor, despite his apparent apprehension about the stranger. However, as soon as they enter their RV, Charles takes out his firearm and commands them to drive him to the border with Montenegro, vowing to refrain from using it as long as you do exactly as I tell you. Isabel knocks on Bianca's door while she is at home spending time with her family and requests that she restart the Jackal investigation. She exhorts Bianca to eliminate him and says it's to exact revenge for the deaths of all the people they've lost thus far. Paul feels resigned and says, "Just go," even though Bianca initially says no. "You are aware that you will." Jasmine responds, "What if staying is the right thing?" after Bianca finally consents to do it, telling her, "I have to do the right thing." When they reach the Montenegrin border, Charles instructs the elderly couple to stop off the road so they can spend the night somewhere. "Are you going to kill us?" Trevor asks him bluntly as they step outside to smoke. Trevor responds, "I'm not a fucking idiot," when Charles reassures him that he won't. Trevor asks if his parents were so nice, "Where'd you come from?" When Charles tells him, they make him think of his own parents. Liz rashly reaches for a kitchen knife and stabs Charles in the shoulder as they get ready for bed. When the gun goes off, they fight for it as Trevor charges at him, and Trevor gets struck. Charles kills him, regretting, "Why couldn't you have simply let it go?" before turning and shooting Liz dead, too. After completing the task, Charles calls Nuria to tell her that he wants to take her and the baby on a vacation. She knows they're not secure at home, but he continues mentioning opulent holiday destinations, so she just wants to stay at home with him. She tells him she loves him when he tells her he's going home to see her, but her face breaks when they hang up. Charles successfully crosses the border on a bus while on a birdwatching expedition after disposing of the RV in a ball of flame. Bianca and her MI6 buddy Vince question a local police officer in Spain on the killing of Jimmy Tejero. When they inquire about Alvaro, the police officer responds, "His sister is married to a wealthy man," apparently in English. Yes, they are getting closer to him. Xena speaks with a board member who informs her that they are increasing her price for this task. while Charles arrives at the airport and uses his secure communications channel to ask about money for the UDC job. All she has to do is wait for a man named Simon. Oh no. Xena senses peril just like we do, and she sneaks out unnoticed when an armed Simon approaches her hotel room. Charles's Spanish home is staked out by Bianca and Vince, and Bianca and her MI6 buddy Vince, question a local police officer in Spain on the killing of Jimmy Tejero. When they inquire about Alvaro, the police officer responds, his sister is married to a wealthy man, apparently in English. Yes, they are getting closer to him. Xena speaks with a board member who informs her that they are increasing her price for this task. While Charles arrives at the airport and uses his secure communications channel to ask about money for the UDC job. All she has to do is wait for a man named Simon. Oh no. Xena senses peril, just like we do, and she sneaks out unnoticed when an armed Simon approaches her hotel room. Charles's Spanish home is staked out by Bianca and Vince, and they see a cab pull up and observe as Nuria enters with her infant and her bags. When Charles gets home, he discovers that Nuria and the baby are gone, and Bianca is aware that she is leaving him. Xena then calls him and tells him, they're coming for you. As Charles crams cash and firearms into a suitcase, Bianca and Vince enter the residence with their rifles out. At that moment, Alvaro enters as well, armed and intoxicated. After turning on the lights, he turns to shoot the police, but they kill him. While Vince and Bianca investigate his vault, Charles turns out the lights and locks himself inside. Through a two-way mirror, Charles observes Bianca as he prepares his arsenal, and she walks straight up to it, with the two adversaries facing each other through a wall. Wow, what a shot! In an attempt to flush him out, Bianca activates the security alarm. Vince sees a red sniper target on her forehead and knocks her to the ground, but the bullet kills him instead. No one else needs to die, she says directly to the Jackal. All I want to know is your identity. I saw her leave, she informs him. I am able to assist you. This isn't how it has to end. However, he responds, it does, before he can get out in time to shoot her. A car unexpectedly T-bones Charles's, knocking him unconscious as he races to the airport to pick up Nuria, promising her on voicemail that, I will come and I will find you. Osi is still grieving for Bianca, and Isabel is taking over as chief at MI6. When Isabel claims that Bianca went renegade and refused to give up, Osi responds, you say that like it's a bad thing. We can also see that he erases a text message from Bianca verifying that Isabel sent her to remove the Jackal. In the meantime, a crippled Charles rests on a park bench beside Xena as they stroll through a charming European city. I know you don't like an unpaid debt, she says, passing him a newspaper with Winthorpe on the top page. She bids him well as he disappears back into the crowd after Charles informs her that there's someone I've got to find first. Thanks for coming.